Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're tuned in to another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, reviews, and answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, Chris, are you going to tell us what Apple Watch you're going to get? I just did. In a separate live video, the Q&A with you and me, I just streamed it live. Like, this is being streamed live. You may be listening to the podcast version. Obviously, that's not live, but this is recorded live. If you want to tune in to every one of our daily live streams, including the Hangout, all you got to do is become one of the Super Nomies, a.k.a. my patrons, starting at just $2 a month. All the live streams you can eat. But just so you know, you should not eat live streams. I wanted you to be aware of that, okay? Do not, I repeat, do not eat or attempt to eat a live stream. I will not be held responsible for your trip to the emergency room because you tried to eat a live stream. Don't do it. Watch it, yeah, but don't eat it. Listen to it, sure. But don't ever stick a live stream in your mouth. I don't know why I have to feel like I'm responsible for telling you this. This is something your parents should have explained years ago. I just get some random email from someone who's very irate at me because I said all you can eat. And he tried to eat a live stream. Or she, I'm not sure. He or she. Just don't do that. Don't. But what you can do is give me an achievement. Now, I'm being a little facetious here, but I did unlock an achievement today. This is not a game you can play. It's not even something you can necessarily ask for. It just happened. And if you follow me on social, you're probably already aware of what happened today. Dave Prowse, a.k.a. is Darth Vader. Yes, the person who played Darth Vader in the original trilogy, the Star Wars movies. The physical body of Darth Vader. For the most part. Not the voice, that's James Earl Jones. Dave Prowse tweeted this morning and encouraged all of his followers to follow me. Saying I was an amazing resource for Star Wars stuff and Darth Vader stuff, and you know what? Wow, that is an achievement! That's like, imagine if, and I've done this in the past, I've tweeted you out there, and you may have, seen the things that I've done and liked what I've done, or I've been a part of your history, and when I tweet you out, you get happy. So this is my happy moment. So that's my achievement. Achievement unlocked. Not just being followed, but being tweeted out and recommended. That's just amazing. So, of course, I took a screenshot. I was humble bragging. I have this as well, so it's nice that I got this today. It's not an officially licensed Darth Vader figurine. It's a bootleg, and that was kind of obvious. Not by quality. By quality, it seems perfectly fine. The arms are articulated. The head is not really articulated, but you can press a button on the back of his head, and his eyes glow. Not licensed, but I would say a rather well-sculpted, good paint job. A nice figurine, not officially licensed, though, and you can tell by the box, because the box does not actually say Star Wars on it, though it says Darth Vader with all the other figurines. I got it on auction, $12 or whatever it was. I'm like, yeah, it looks good. And you know what? Honestly, this was produced better as a bootleg than some officially licensed Darth Vader merchandise. So I took a picture of this, but I was going to do that anyway. Just wanted to get that bit of news out of the way. I also want to tell you, I have posted my Sriracha burger Jack in the Box review on my classic channel. These food reviews are apparently going like gangbusters. You apparently like me doing food reviews. Who knew? Happy to do it. No doubt. I will continue to do fun food reviews, and if it's got Sriracha in it, I'm probably going to try it, because Sriracha's the thing. If it has bacon in it, I'm probably going to try it. I'm also looking for some new cereals to try, because that's a thing. It's kind of fun. What are we going to do with life? You got to eat. Might as well have fun while you're eating. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I believe in boring food. Yeah, you stick boring food in your mouth. It was fun. It was a good burger. Now I'm hungry for it again. Sorry if that also makes you hungry. Today was the 50th anniversary of the first spacewalk, so to celebrate, we are posting all sorts of fun things in relation to spacey things that you might be able to bring into your home. Darth Vader is kind of spacey, but I'm talking about, real spacewalks, not like, make-believe spacewalks like in Star Wars. But if you want to check that out, we've got the link for you in the video description, linking off to LockerGnome.com. Not to be confused with deals.lockergnome.com, where today we've posted our Rhino Shield Crash Guard and Screen Protector, 18% off. The Wacom Intuos Pro Pen and Touchpad giveaway. That's free giveaway. We also have a pre-order exclusive for the Snowflake Drone, 60% off. Those three things and other things at deals.lockergnome.com. That's, it's really, you just go there. Just to take a look, say, oh, you know what, Chris, I saw your quote-unquote deals. They're really not deals for me. But you see, you go there, you sign up for the newsletter, and we'll send you new deals. See, it works out. We also will send you any information on new giveaways. So just go there, deals.lockergnome.com. We also have LockerGnome.com outright, and that's where we post fun things that we find throughout the day. That's really what it's doing these days. I had a grander vision for what LockerGnome could have been, but unfortunately, it's probably never going to happen that way. There are better sites that exist for that kind of stuff that I would want to do. Nerdist being one of them. If I had something that I want to do, I'd want to do a cross between The Verge and Nerdist. But I am not funded. Therefore, I can't. I could try, but would fail miserably. So I'm just going to do what I do well and keep doing it. Thank you for your support, especially all of the super nomies. Now, on to the other array of geek news, including why is Chris scratching his nodes? I'm scratching my nodes. Ha! There's something geeky for you. I have allergies. My nodes itch. And that's how you know a geek's got allergies, because his nodes itch. Or nodes itches? His node itches? Oh, man, I was up all night. I can't be the only one with allergies. That's not the geek news I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and flip over to my notes. The notes that you will see in the description for this particular broadcast. 1, we're still looking for your tech support stories. You got some nightmares you've gone through. Funny stories. I need them. I need your funny tech support stories. Need them. And then we'll have you do a release if we pick your story, because Canon, Canon? They make cameras, they make copiers, they make printers. This is specifically in conjunction with the new printer line that they're launching with the imageCLASS line. And they've asked, hey, Chris, you got some geeks in your community, some IT professionals. Have any of them had any funny tech support stories? I'm like, oh, yeah, tons. And now I'm waiting for you to tell me. So tell me, there's a chance you can be on one of Canon's websites. And so just leave your comment. We've got a Facebook post that we made with the same video that I uploaded to the YouTube channel for you to participate in. But we're still looking for your active participation in that. The big news I left you off with yesterday, and I'm surprised I haven't seen more of this as I've surfed social. I talked about it briefly. And really, there's not much to say right now, but the headline, Nintendo partners with DNA, that's D-E-N-A, to bring its games and IP, intellectual property, to smartphones, tablets, etc. This is big. It is huge, if only because Nintendo, for the longest time, has had a great platform in terms of what's on the platform. I think it could be argued that, technically speaking, Nintendo was kind of behind the times. Sales were not what they had expected it to be. I'd question usability. But certainly Nintendo filled the niche that it once had quite well. Whether we're talking with the Game Boy, portable gaming, as an original Game Boy owner, loved that. Really, the only games I played were Super Mario... no, I'm sorry, not Super Mario. Dr. Mario. Love that game. Tetris, naturally. I don't have my original Tetris cartridge, though. That, to me, is the killer app on any platform. You don't have a platform unless you can play Tetris on it, as far as I'm concerned. So, for the longest time, as most of us know, Nintendo hasn't really adopted any other platform apart from their own. I had argued years ago that if Nintendo were to take its IP, Mario, Link, anything that's it's created on its own, even possibly taking some of the characters and stories from the archives and porting them to platforms that are running Android or iOS, it would make a lot more money. Because you know what? I think Mario is bigger than Nintendo. And it's a bold statement. But I really truly believe it. I do. Mario is bigger than Nintendo. And when you're in a situation where something that you've done really outshines your company or what you are, you've got to pay attention to that. Companies have it at points in the past. For example, Parallels. They've been a sponsor of ours in the past. The company that made Parallel software used to be called something else. I couldn't even tell you what it was called. But Parallels was so big, the brand was so strong, they rebranded the company as Parallels. Made sense. The same thing, and this is not exactly a direct correlation, but Research in Motion, RIM, used to be, well, that's the former name of the company. Now it's known as BlackBerry because that's the product that really was larger than the brand itself. So I'm not saying Nintendo should call themselves the Mario company. What I am suggesting, however, is you don't care necessarily how you play a game with Mario in it. You don't. If you could play that same Mario game on a console you already owned, would you do it? Yeah. Would you play that game on your Android device or your iPhone? Yeah. Why not? As long as the game was optimized for that particular platform, touch usability primarily. I just don't see where this would be any issue whatsoever for Nintendo, apart from it possibly selling fewer consoles. They need to go this direction. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to port over, their entire library. I don't think it'll work that way. I think they could, and I think they could potentially, they could potentially make a killing. In fact, I would go as far as to say if Nintendo launches solid titles, solid properties on iOS, solid, not just lazy ports, solid properties on iOS, I bet you anything they'll make more money with a game on another platform than they did with the Wii. In any kind of games that Nintendo made and sold outright. I bet you anything. Because iOS is huge. And you've got people who, are not afraid to spend money. Android users, they're a little afraid, for the most part. Now, I'm not saying if you're an Android user, you're afraid to spend money. But that's the trend. People who buy iPhones tend to be not afraid to actually spend some money. Versus Android users might be those who could cheap out. Kind of like this always cracks me up. PC users tend to cheap out on hardware, but then again, they complain. They say, everything else is expensive. Yet they drop $500 on a video card. Yet everything else is expensive. Expensive is relative. That's all I'm saying. Not slagging anybody's choices at all. In fact, I'm doing just the opposite. I'm saying there's a place for everybody. So when Nintendo made this decision, obviously it came after years of problems, financial issues that Nintendo just could not overcome. They were stemming the tide, and so I was very, very happy to hear this news. Something that I would have wanted years and years ago, not because I want to play Nintendo games, but if a good Nintendo title became available because I trust the brand, because I know the characters, if I had a good time with it, sure, why not? I'll play the game, yeah, for sure. If it's a good game, if it's very recommended, if it plays well, if they've done a good job with the platform, I don't think it's going to be an issue for me. I would certainly look forward to playing a Link game or a Zelda-based game on iOS, whether it would be the iPad or the iPhone, depending on how it was constructed. I'm hesitant to play any games that really suck you in or lure you in with in-app purchases. Those really bother me. I would have no problem in spending $30 on a Nintendo game if I didn't have to go through in-app purchases if I knew I wanted to play it. It was good, especially if it was done like a classic, or if it was a classic. I'd be very, very happy to play in some way, shape, or form The Adventure of Link. I loved that game, and then of course the original The Legend of Zelda. I would like to see some good ports of Metroid. I would like to see Kid Icarus brought back to life. That was one of my favorite original NES classics. Apparently it wasn't as successful as I would have expected it to be. Loved Kid Icarus. It was probably one of my favorite original Nintendo titles. I didn't really play a lot of the Zelda-based games past The Adventure of Link. I just didn't have the platforms or the time to necessarily get sucked into those universes. So, to see them open up like this, I think is it's good. It's good for everybody, and it's not. They're not saying, well, we're only going to one platform or another. They're just opening it up. It could be Android, iOS, or both. I think this is ushering in a new age for Nintendo, and anybody who loved Nintendo at any point in the past is going to love this decision. I am very excited to see this and to see what comes from this particular announcement. Jedi has yet to fall in love with Mario. It's me, Daddy. Don't fall in love with a Mario, okay? But if you love a plumber, that's okay. Just make sure, he's a good plumber. Okay? Okay, well, if you want Luigi, you can love Luigi. I don't care. Go either way. Just don't love Wario. He's the bad guy. Yoshi? You more of a Yoshi fan, maybe? Not so much? So there you go. That's the Nintendo news that I wanted to cover yesterday, but knew that I was running out of time. Now, for the remainder of the show, after I mentioned two other things, will pretty much be Microsoft dedicated. This should make a lot of people happy. Nintendo and Microsoft in the same video. Unbelievable. Star Wars, yes, I'm not done with Star Wars news, is getting a new novel that's going to be taking place. The novel is going to drop before The Force Awakens here at the end of the year, the new movie. It's going to be called Star Wars Aftermath. So it's going to be novel. I don't know if they're also going to have a graphic novel version, which I'd hope for. Some people love the novel reading thing. It really wasn't my thing. Graphic novels, oh yeah. Novels, I'll wait for the graphic novel. Storybook, yeah, okay, I can use little pictures. Oh, story, okay, I got the idea. I'm good to go. I can get back. I can come back to it if I wanted to. The last Star Wars novel I think I read was The Phantom Menace, and it didn't. Honestly, reading that book, I was like, well, this really didn't give me anything that I didn't get in the movie, which wasn't a whole lot. Anyway, Aftermath is a novel that takes place after Return of the Jedi, like I guess right after Return of the Jedi. So we find out kind of what happens. So it's a nice filler material between the original trilogy of movies and what's going to be taking place starting here in the next few months. It's kind of exciting. So that's the other Star Wars news I wanted to mention. A lot of Star Wars geeks are very excited about that. But I know they're going to be like what I mentioned the other week. 20 books released, like I guess The Journey to the Force Begins, or I'm sorry, The Journey to the Force Awakens. If I said The Force Begins, I meant The Force Awakens. Sorry, it's still a new title for me. Other bit of news that is not Microsoft related. Researchers can now 3D print nose cartilage in 16 minutes. Astounding. I mean, if there's an industry or a part of our lives that are going to be transformed by 3D printing, I think health is number one. Easily, health. Number one. Toys, possibly. I've thought about connecting with a few other people who, have a different skill set than me, and even whipping up some ideas around, action figures, designing action figures, but, giving people the plans for them to download on their own and 3D print them at home. Or if they wanted to, some other 3D printer, maybe not at home. I've toyed with that idea, no pun intended. But yeah, I think 3D printing is beyond the gimmicky nature of what 3D printing is now. You've got the ability to 3D print replacement parts that otherwise could not be done. The ability to prototype is valuable, but when you're talking about being able to replace body parts within minutes, breathtaking. That's where 3D printing is exciting for me. It really is. It's exciting. It's interesting. It's fascinating. It's not gimmicky. That takes technology out of the realm of gee whiz and puts it squarely in the arena of practicality. And I really think that it's just the beginning of a new era of health technology and its crossover with health matters. And I'm very excited to hear that news. Okay, so I mentioned that. Links in the description if you want to read more. Now, on to the Microsoft news, and I'm not exactly sure how long this is going to take me to get through. I kind of waxed pathetic a little while longer than I expected with Nintendo, but it tends to be what I do. I tend to talk. It's what I do. I talk. You want a short video from me? Look in my classic channel. The new videos we're producing in my classic channel are very, very short. That's not a short joke. We're back again. Okay. So, Microsoft. They're set to offer free upgrades to Windows 10, even for PCs with non-genuine copies of Windows. So if you cheated the system, if you pirated Windows, bootlegged it, you can still get Windows 10 for free. So Microsoft, for them to, I know, sweetie, for Microsoft to do this, it means a lot. Microsoft's obviously saying, you know what, at least they're using Windows. Let's move them along to the new version of Windows. So we're apparently going to turn a blind eye. This is what Microsoft's saying. I don't know why, necessarily, apart from thinking, well, they just want more people using Windows 10. I don't have a problem with this. I think that's a good sign, especially if you were worried. I'm surprised Microsoft is doing this. I never would have expected they would do something like this. It is a little surprising. That's the best word I could use to describe this turn of events. Craziness. What is this world coming to? Dogs sleeping with cats, mass pandemonium. It's craziness. So that's big news. Also, there is a new build of the Windows 10 beta that is available for you to download. I assume, a whole array of updates. And that's good if you happen to be one who is testing Windows 10 at this point in time. Also, Microsoft just announced that Windows 10 will launch this summer in 190 countries. 190 countries in 111 languages, but not Spanish. Yeah. Apparently, they have a problem with the booger that's atop the N. Yeah, with the booger that she just sneezed out. Bless you. Over the N, the tilde, the booger, Microsoft had a problem. No, I'm kidding. It's probably going to be in Spanish. 111 languages, 190 countries this summer. Is it ready? I don't know. Is it more ready than Windows 8 was? I don't know. Is it better than Windows Vista? I'd imagine so. Am I going to upgrade to Windows 10? Yes. Will I upgrade on launch day? Yes. Will it become my primary OS? Not likely. But this is still good news all around. It's good to have a date from them. And to see them moving forward and having it this summer sooner rather than later. But I expect a lot of rolling updates with Windows moving forward. Another reason why I think they're turning a blind eye to those who had pirated any version of Windows ahead of time, or maybe certain versions of Windows. They're basically saying, yeah, why don't you come aboard? We know you took our OS. Let bygones be bygones. Just come into the new Windows 10. Come on. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. First taste is always free. Microsoft pushing their drug, Windows 10. Well, kind of is. Apple's got a drug, the iPhone. Like, first taste is, well, that's not free, though. Hardly. So, it's again, more good news for those who are Microsoft fans. Bing! Not dead yet. That's the news. No. Bing is launching a new service called Distill. It's basically Microsoft's version of Yahoo Answers. The website's live, and you can request an invite. I don't know why they're launching this now. Seems to be a few years late, but cool. Okay. If I can go to another resource beyond Yahoo Answers to get some information, great. When I'm looking for responses, I'm very careful. I don't just go to one website. If I'm looking for reviews, I go to more than one resource. I also qualify the reviews that I look for. So if I know of someone who's very passionate about one thing that I want to get, I'll talk to that person directly. Forget the web. What do you think? Okay, this is what I need. What do you think? And then they'll give me the advice. It's very, very targeted. I had a friend. Friend. Actually, I've never met her. She does live locally, I guess, and she was asking, "Hey, Chris, what vlog camera do you use?" And I said, "Well, this is the one I'm using from go.tagjag.com/hdhat." And she says, I know I shouldn't ask you, and this is probably annoying you because I know it annoys me when people ask me about things that I've answered a million times. I said, no, it's okay. Like, if I know you are, this woman is always doing amazing things, always creating content, always very engaging, always very, very supportive. So I'm willing, okay, yeah, you're looking for this, and I know you're going to do good with that. It's like a professional courtesy. That's something that I thought was apropos. People ask me for advice all the time, and I give advice too after listening and say, no, yes, do this, no, don't do that. I will tell you outright with no emotion attached to it, no or yes. Jedi's ambivalent. As long as she gets her food and her bounces. Next bit of Microsoft news. Internet Explorer. And this is about the last bit of Microsoft news. Thank God, I'm sure for everybody. Like, why is it? You always talk about Microsoft. That's all you talk about is Microsoft.
Oh, she has a Microsoft onesie.
What? Mm-hmm. When did this happen?
I got it from the thrift store.
That's funny. Can you go get it?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. It just kind of freaked me out. You know, I was like,
Yeah, I got it.
So, Internet Explorer is dead, but not dead. Effectively, it's getting edged out by what will be named something different in the future, Project Spartan. That's not its final name, although I think it's a good name. Why wouldn't they just keep calling it Microsoft Spartan? I think it's a good idea. But they're going to call it something else. Who knows? They're testing names, I guess, on the back end, which is great. Back end, meaning that it's not public. What do we have here? Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, I'd expect to see something like this in the Seattle area. I don't think anybody else can see it because the light there is so bright. It's like killing. It's so bright.
Oh.
Extreme whiteness. Microsoft onesie. Your daddy is silly. I've never seen her wear this.
Oh, she's going to.
Oh.
Age it a little bit older, but
okay.
For people, her babies.
Well, let's not do it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I just don't want to offend anybody out there who would say that, she always talks about Microsoft. Your baby always coos about Microsoft. I got an idea.
Sounds like a great idea.
I'm going to need you to come a little closer. I don't want anybody else to find out until we do it. Okay, so the idea is... Are you not going to tweet this, are you?
No.
Okay. So, we'll put on the onesie. We'll wear the onesie. She's going to tweet this, isn't she?
She is.
And then her Apple beanie. So she'll have her Apple beanie and her Microsoft onesie. You know what I'm saying? Does she have a Google anything else?
Only the Google, no.
Can we get a Google bow, maybe?
Yeah. And then a bean.
No, we got Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I had to have a private conversation with my wife there. Thank you for bearing with us. I think the mute button worked. I'm not a production geek. What can I say? Okay, I have definitely covered everything I needed to cover today. I want to roll into the patron hangout where I do answer questions, continue to answer questions. You can stay too. This is, if you want to know what you're missing in the hangouts when we do it after the live streams, we're talking shop. I tell Liz, some updates, might talk with the team, things that are going on. Got some exciting news with in relation to Gnome Decks today, which is going to be our event this year for geeks and nerds. We're going to be inviting your favorite geeky and nerdy YouTubers, absolutely, Viners, YouTubers, Instagrammers, I don't care. But this is what you're missing. This is what I look like in a hangout. This is what you see. I take off my glasses and it's the top of my head. Because I'm looking down at the keyboard and I'm close to the webcam back there. This is what you're missing, folks. Behind the scenes stuff. You want behind the scenes? I'll show you behind the scenes. Happy to do that. So thank you for joining us. Thank you to all of my Nomies. Thank you to all my super Nomies, aka the patrons. Again, bonuses start at just $2 a month, including being able to join us in the hangouts. Sometimes we even pull in the patrons. And then, of course, this weekend I'm planning on doing a Geek Out. I'm hoping to. I got to find a few geeks and nerds who want to participate. You know who I want to invite?
Who?
Linus Sebastian. I still owe him for the WAN show. I don't know if anybody else really invites him regularly on anything. He usually invites people, or used to invite people in. But of course, I'm small potatoes compared to these people now. I'm fine, but I'm not. Big potatoes are good too. I like hash browns, personally. More of a hash brown kind of guy. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.